All right, so here is the test review. So the first one says, given the quadratic functions, find the following. So this one is in standard form. So first off, this is going to be A, B, and this will be C. So if is the graph concave up or down, we look at the A value, it's -2, so that's concave down. Axis symmetry, x equals the opposite of b over 2 times a. So in this case, x equals the opposite of -8 is 8 over 2 times a is -2. So 8 divided by -4, which is -2. So in this case, for the axis symmetry, x equals -2. To find the vertex, we have x, which is this right here, the axis symmetry, and then we plug in x into the equation, and we get our y value. So over here, -2 times x is -2 squared, minus 8 times -2 plus 10. -2 squared is 4. -8 times -2 is positive 16 plus 10. So -2 times 4 is -8 plus 16, which is 8. And 8 plus 10 is 18. So our x value of the vertex is -2. Our y value we just solved was 18. And there is our vertex. Again, at the first point, you could have typed that in the calculator and probably got the 18 as well. What is the min or max? So in this case, it's concave down. So if I draw the graph, we're at the top, and that's going to be a max. And the max is going to be the value will be the y value of the vertex. In this case, would be 18. Y-intercept, 0, c. 0, c is number 10. So 0, 10. All right, for the next one on the next side, is the graph concave up or down? So again, we're going to identify what A, B, and C are. A is +4, so that is concave up. Axis symmetry, we know x equals opposite of B over 2 times A, which is 4. So 12 divided by 8 is 3/2, so x is equal to 3/2, or 1.5, that's your choice. All right, from here, according to the vertex, we plug in x into the function. So 4 times 3/2 squared minus 12 times 3/2 minus 12. And here you could just simply type this in the calculator. I'm going to work it out. 4 times, so we're going to square each one. 3 squared is 9. 2 squared is 4. Minus here, 12 times the top number. So 12 times 36 is 36. Sorry, 12 times 3 is 36. 36 divided by the bottom number 2 is going to be 18, so minus 18, minus 12. The 4's here do cancel, so leaving us with 9 minus 18 minus 12 is -30, which is going to give us -21. So our vertex is going to be 3/3, -21. Is it a min or a max? Concave up is up, so that's going to be a minimum. And the value is the y value of the vertex, which is -21. The y-intercept, 0, c, so this came 0, -12. All right, for the next ones, the next two are going to be in your vertex form. So now we're looking for A, H, and K. So is the graph concave up or down? So A is negative. We know it's concave already, so I'm going to say it's just up. Axis symmetry, this formula is x is equal to h. So remember, insiders lie, so that's not a 2, it's a -2, so x equals -2. Vertex is h, k. So axis symmetry, x value is the run for the vertex, -2, this is k, so hk, so -2, -3. What is the y-intercept? So we could plug in x equals 0. Okay, so we have negative parentheses 0 plus 2 squared minus 3. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. -4 minus 3 is -7, so 0, -7. Convert to standard form, so the square, we write it twice. So we got 2x plus 2's. So we distribute the x first. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. Now we distribute the second one. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 2 is +4. Minus 3. So now we can combine like terms. X squared plus 2x plus 2x is 4x. Plus 4 minus 3. Now we distribute this. -x squared. negative 4x, and negative 4 minus 3. And that gives us our final answer of y equals negative, forgot the square there, negative x squared minus 4x, and negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. All right, on to the last one for the front page. Again, it's a vertex form, so a value is positive. So, I just saw something here. Let's see. The a value here was negative, so it's not actually concave up. That is actually going to be concave down. Axis symmetry still x equals negative 2. Vertex is fine. Y-intercept, everything else is fine. Just made a small error there. Be careful on that. For this one here, the a value is positive. We have a, h, and k. A value is positive, so that's concave up. Axis symmetry, x equals h, so x equals insiders lie, so that's actually a 5. Vertex h, comma, k is 4. What is the y-intercept? We're going to plug in 0 for x. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. Negative 5 squared is 25. 2 times 25 is 50. Plus 4 is 54. So my y-intercept is 0, comma, 54. And last, convert it to standard form. So 2 times x minus 5 times x minus 5 plus 4. Leave the 2 alone. X squared, negative 5x. Negative 5x, positive 25. And then we have our plus 4 at the end. So 2 times x squared, negative 5x minus 5x is negative 10x, plus 25, plus 4. So we have 2x squared, negative 20x, plus 50, plus 4. So y equals 2x squared minus 20x plus 54. All right, on to the back. So on the back, now we're having the intercept form ones. So for the first one, it says, is the graph concave up or down? So again, the first number is going to be A, the second number is P, and the third one is Q. So for the first one, A is negative, so that's concave down. The coordinates of the roots, we take what's in each parentheses, set it equal to 0 and solve. So add the 5. Negative x equals 5. So if you divide it, x equals negative 5. For the other one, x plus 7 equals 0. Subtract the 7. X equals negative 7. So my roots would be like negative 5, 0, and negative 7, 0. To get the axis symmetry, you just add the roots together. So x equals p plus q divided by 2. So for this one here, it's going to be negative 5 plus negative 7 over 2, and that's x equals, which is negative 12 over 2, which is negative 6. So x equals negative 6 for your axis of symmetry. So you get the vertex, we plug that in. So negative 3 times negative 6, and a negative become positive 6, minus 5, and 6, negative 6, plus 7. So negative 3 times 1 times 1, which is going to give me negative 3. So it would, the vertex would be negative 6, comma, negative 3. What is the min or max value? Since opening down, the highest part is going to be a max, and that is negative 3. And last, we have the y, or second last, we have the y-intercept. So we plug in 0 for x. So negative 0 minus 5 is negative 5. 0 plus 7 is 7. Negative 3 times negative 5 is 15. 15 times 7 is, let me see, 105. Positive 105. So 0, comma, 105 is the coordinates of your y-intercept. For the convert to standard form, so we're going to FOIL it out. So negative x becomes, negative x times x is negative x squared. Negative x times 7 is negative 7x. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times 7 is negative 35. So here we can combine our like terms. All right, and then last but not least, we're going to distribute the negative 3. So y equals negative 3x, with negative times negative is positive 3x squared plus 36x plus 35. All right, on to the next one. So again, it's intercept form. A value is 4, p is 2, negative 2, and q is 4. Well, they're not solved, they're in factor form. The graph is concave up or down. A is positive, so it's up. Again, this is coordinates of the roots. So x minus 2 equals 0, x plus 4 equals 0, so x equals 2, x equals negative 4, so your answer should be 2 comma 0, negative 4 comma 0. All right, and moving on from here, we're going to find the axis symmetry, so we're going to add the roots together. X equals 2 plus negative 4 divided by 2, which is negative 2 over 2, which is negative 1. So now we move on to the coordinates of the vertex. We take this negative 1 and plug it in. So 4 times negative 1 minus 2, negative 1 plus 4. All right, so 1 minus 2, negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. Negative 1 plus 4 is also 3. So 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 times 3 is negative 36. So my vertex is x is negative 1, y is negative 36. Since it's facing up, it is a minimum value, and then it's the y value of the vertex, so negative 36. What is the y-intercept? You're going to plug in 0 for x. So 4 times 0 minus 2 is negative 2. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. Negative 2 times negative 4 is 8. So 4 times 8 is 32. So we have 0 comma 32. Last thing we need to do after we get our y-intercept is convert to standard form. So again, you're going to FOIL out the two binomials and then distribute the a value at the end if necessary. So 4 times x squared plus 4x minus 2x minus 8. From here, we can close our parentheses and don't forget any number at the end, which we don't. So now we go into 4 times x squared, 4x plus 2 minus 2x is 2x. And then we have a minus 8. So 4x squared plus 2x minus 8. Last, we're going to distribute this 4. 4 times x squared is 4x squared. 4 times 2x is 8x. And 4 times negative 8 is negative 32. And that is my equation there. All right, now to the last two problems. This 8 right here, change it to a minus 24. All right. That'll help the graph to come out nicer. So for this one here, in order to graph this, you need the axis of symmetry and the vertex. All right, so I'll go, or sorry, not the vertex and the a value. So in order to find the a value, you got to find the axis of symmetry, then the vertex, and then the a value. So the a value is pretty easy. A equals negative 2. For my vertex, we have x equals opposite of b, so a is negative 2, b is 16, so opposite is negative 16, over 2 times a, which is negative 2. Negative 16 divided by 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So x equals 4. So for my vertex, we know the x value is 4. Now to get our y value, we plug it in, negative 2 times 4 squared, plus 16 times 4, minus 24. So 4 squared is 16, times negative 2 is negative 32. 16 times 4 is also 32. And then on the bottom, let's see, we have is that negative 24? All right. So my vertex is going to have a negative 24 in there. And now for a value, we know it's negative 2. Let me verify this value is correct here. Negative 2, 4 squared is 16. 16 times negative 2 is negative 32. 16 times 4 is 32. And then we have a minus 24. Opposite of B, 16. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Negative 16 over negative 4 is 4. That's the axis symmetry. 4 squared is 16. 16 times negative 2 is negative 32. 16 times 4. 16 times 4 is 64. I knew I had an error there. So this is going to be 32 minus 24. Sorry about that mistake. 4 comma 32 minus 24 is 8. Yeah, 8. So my vertex is 4, 8. Sorry about that. So small errors, just be careful when you're doing that. Maybe I should use a calculator to get this. So we're going to go to 4, 8. Now for my a value is negative 2. So for the 1, 3, 5, 7, we multiply each one by negative 2. So we get negative 2, negative 6, negative 10, negative 14. So we go right 1, a value is negative 2, so that's down 2. Right 1, a value is negative 6, so down 6. On the other side, we go left 1, then we go down 2, left 1, down 6. And then I make my graph. All right, there's that there. And then for the next problem, okay, so again, this one is intercept form now. So here we're gonna need, again, the vertex and the a value. We know the a value is 1/2. So to find the vertex, first we need to know the axis symmetry. And before we do that, we gotta know the roots. So x plus 1 equals 0, which is negative 1 comma 0. X minus 3 equals 0, so that's going to be 3 comma 0. So now we're going to take our roots and add them. So x equals p plus q divided by 2. So negative 3 plus 2 is 2 divided by 2, which is 1. So x equals 1. For my vertex, the x value is 1. And then we have 1/2 times 1 plus 1 times 1 minus 3. 1/2 of 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. So half of 2 is 1. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. So we go to 1 and negative 2. My a value is 1/2. So I'll do that down over here. So we have 1, 3, 5, 7. We multiply each one by 1/2. So we get 0.5, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. So starting from the vertex, it is positive, so we go right 1 and up 1/2. Right up 1.5, so 0.51. Right 1 up 2.5, so 1, 2.5. Then right 1 up 3.5, so 0.5, 1, 2, 3. The other side, we just say left 1 up 0.5, left 1 up 1.5, left 1 up 2.5, and left 1 up 3.5. And there's my graph. All right, and for the last question, it says the range of a quadratic function is -1 to infinity. And the zeros of the function are 3 and 5. List everything you can tell about the quadratic function based on the given information. All right, so what's given is that, let's see, your x-intercepts are 3, 0, and 5, 0. And since we know that, we can figure out the axis symmetry, which would be x equals p plus q divided by 2. So a divided by 2 is 4, so x equals 2, 4. We also now can find the vertex. Now, the cool thing about this one is, so we know that the x value is the axis of symmetry, so that's 4. And we know the y value when you plug in x, but we don't have an equation. But what we do have is this range right here. And since that y value represents either the minimum or the maximum of the graph, that -1 is actually going to be the y value of our vertex. Okay. Now, before I do the next part, I know when I see the graph, it says from -1 to infinity. So if it's going to infinity, the graph is going to be facing up. So it's concave up because it's from -1 to infinity. So that's my range. Now, for the next part, I know the domain is going to be all real numbers. So -infinity to positive infinity. For my range, I think they already gave us at -1 to infinity. All right, from here, what else do we have? Oh, increasing. So let's go ahead and write the coordinate here for -1 as the vertex point. So for increasing and decreasing, so for increasing, it goes from this vertex to infinity, and we're looking at the x value of the vertex, so that's going to be 4, infinity. And for the range is coming down, decreasing here, so -infinity to 4. And that's everything I can tell you from the quadratic function that I see, at least. All right, other than that, that completes the review.